The world remembers Ruhollah Khomeini as a revolutionary. He was a man of deep faith and unwavering conviction. Khomeini led Iran through a period of immense change. He challenged the existing world order. His legacy continues to shape Iran and the Middle East today. Born in 1902, Khomeini's life was intertwined with tumultuous times. He witnessed the decline of traditional power structures. He saw the rise of Western influence in the Muslim world. These experiences shaped his worldview and fueled his desire for change. Khomeini's charisma and message resonated with millions. He became a symbol of resistance against oppression. His leadership during the Iranian Revolution transformed Iran. It also sent shockwaves throughout the world. Understanding Khomeini is crucial to understanding modern Iran. His life and legacy offer a glimpse into the complexities of the Middle East. It helps us understand the ongoing struggle between tradition and modernity. Ruhollah Khomeini's path to becoming a revolutionary leader was not straightforward. It was rooted in years of religious scholarship and spiritual contemplation. Khomeini's dedication to his faith led him to become an Ayatollah. His sermons attracted a growing following, particularly among those disillusioned with the Shah's regime. Beyond his religious teachings, Khomeini also emerged as a vocal critic of the Shah's government. Khomeini's arrest and subsequent exile solidified his image as a defender of Islam and a champion of the people. While Ruhollah Khomeini was honing his ideologies, Iran was undergoing rapid modernization and social upheaval. The Shah aimed to transform Iran into a modern secular state. His reforms alienated large segments of the population. Religious conservatives felt their values were eroded. The gap between the rich and poor widened. The Shah's autocratic rule stoked discontent. Khomeini, from exile, tapped into this discontent. He denounced the Shah's policies as Western imperialism. He called for an Islamic government. Khomeini's message resonated with a population yearning for change. Students, intellectuals, and religious leaders found common cause. The stage was set for a confrontation that would reshape Iran's destiny. By late 1970s, Iran was a powder keg of unrest ready to explode. Khomeini, despite being in exile, remained a powerful symbol of resistance. He communicated with his followers through smuggled cassette tapes, his fiery sermons galvanizing the opposition. Anti-Shah protests, fueled by economic hardship, political repression, and Khomeini's calls for an Islamic revolution, erupted across Iran. The Shah's security forces responded with brutal force, further inflaming the situation. The revolution had begun. In 1979, facing mounting pressure and escalating violence, the Shah fled Iran. Khomeini, after 15 years in exile, made a triumphant return to Iran, greeted by millions of jubilant supporters. His return marked a turning point in the revolution, solidifying his authority as the leader of the movement. The Shah's departure left a power vacuum in Iran. Khomeini, with the support of revolutionary forces and the clergy, moved swiftly to consolidate power. The monarchy was abolished, paving the way for the establishment of an Islamic republic. With the Shah overthrown and Khomeini at the helm, Iran embarked on a radical transformation. The country's constitution was rewritten, enshrining Islamic law as the foundation of the new political order. The Islamic Republic of Iran was born, a theocracy where religious leaders held ultimate authority. Khomeini, as the supreme leader, wielded immense power. He set the country's political and spiritual direction. He oversaw the creation of new institutions like the Revolutionary Guard to enforce Islamic law and suppress dissent. The transformation of Iran into an Islamic republic had profound consequences. The role of women in society changed with the imposition of Islamic dress codes. The education system was revamped to reflect Islamic teachings. Secular influences were purged from public life. Khomeini's vision was to create an Islamic state that would serve as a model for the Muslim world. He rejected both Western capitalism and Soviet communism, advocating for a system based on Islamic principles of social justice, self-reliance, and resistance to foreign domination. Khomeini's rule blended revolutionary zeal and pragmatism. He sought to implement his vision of an Islamic state. He faced internal dissent and external pressure. Khomeini authorized the seizure of the American embassy in Tehran. Iranian students took American diplomats hostage, sparking a crisis. The crisis heightened tensions with the West. Iraq invaded Iran in 1980. The Iran-Iraq War lasted 8 years. Khomeini rallied the nation, portraying the conflict as a holy war. The war had a devastating impact on Iran. It also consolidated Khomeini's authority. The war reinforced Khomeini's image as a strong leader. Khomeini's rule was not without its critics and controversies. His government was accused of human rights abuses, suppressing dissent and persecuting religious minorities. The revolution's early promise of freedom and justice seemed to fade as Khomeini consolidated power. The crackdown on dissent was particularly harsh. Opposition groups, both secular and religious, were targeted. Freedom of speech and assembly were curtailed. Khomeini's government justified these actions as necessary to safeguard the revolution and protect the Islamic State from its enemies. The Iran-Iraq War, while initially uniting the nation, also exposed divisions within Iranian society. As the war dragged on, criticism of Khomeini's leadership grew. Some questioned the human cost of the conflict and the government's handling of the war effort. Despite the challenges and controversies, Khomeini remained a revered figure for many Iranians. He was seen as the father of the revolution, the leader who had liberated Iran from foreign domination and restored its Islamic identity. Ruhollah Khomeini's death in 1989 marked the end of an era for Iran. He left behind a complex legacy, one that continues to shape Iran and the world today. His revolution transformed Iran into an Islamic republic, a theocracy that challenged the existing world order. Khomeini's impact on Iran is undeniable. He overthrew the monarchy, established an Islamic state, and redefined Iran's role in the region. His ideology, a blend of Shia Islam and anti-Western sentiment, continues to influence Iranian politics and foreign policy. The Iranian Revolution under Khomeini's leadership inspired Islamist movements across the Middle East. It demonstrated the power of religious fervor as a political force. It emboldened those seeking to challenge secular regimes and Western influence. Khomeini's legacy is not without its dark side. His rule was marked by authoritarianism, human rights abuses, and a disregard for international norms. His anti-Western rhetoric and support for extremist groups fueled instability in the region. Decades after his death, Khomeini's legacy endures. His revolution remains a watershed moment. In Iran, his ideology is deeply entrenched. The Islamic Republic shows remarkable resilience. His successors maintain Iran's defiance of the West. The revolution continues to inspire Islamist movements and as well shape the Middle East as we know it today. We thank you for joining us for another episode of Philosophical Flicks and yet another stroll down memory lane. We look forward, as always, to seeing you in the next video, and if you have not done so, please consider subscribing to the channel, as it truly allows us to continue to bring you more philosophical content. Until next time, take care of yourselves and each other.